Right, well, welcome to Leicester Square. It's a bit of a madhouse. I'm just going to pan round so you can see what Leicester Square is like now. So you've got some old buildings like the one you can see in the background, but then as I turn around it becomes much more modern. You can see how it's been redeveloped, but this is where Dr. Jekyll lived. Now, just check out what happens here. So just behind me, that's the Odeon Cinema that used to be the main place for people to have their premieres of films. That's where the red carpet was, now completely gone. But look how lucky we are, next door to it, number 28. This is the John Hunter house. And those of you who've studied the novel properly will know this is Dr. Jekyll's house. It's right here, look, check it out. That's it, and you can imagine what a house of respectability that must have been. Look how rich he must have been to own that house. And it's important to remember this when we think about Jekyll representing the middle classes. It's not our version of the middle classes. These guys are really, really wealthy and well off. And I hope the people in the pub are enjoying being in my video, making as much noise as possible. Let's go and see what we can find out.
Now let's contrast this to what Leicester Square would have looked like in 1750. You can see how grand the buildings were and how beautiful the public space was, and this shows you 100 years later in Stevenson's time how far Leicester Square has become a symbol of decline, and Stevenson uses it to suggest Jekyll's moral decline and by extension the moral decline of middle class men and society. Amazingly, we still have the floor plan of John Hunter's house. Here it is, 1792, and this was famous in Stevenson's time because John Hunter became a major player in medicine. There were hospitals named after him. Leicester Square actually had 4 statues made of him, and the reason was he advanced medical science, just like Jekyll is trying to do. But there was a flip side to him, and the flip side is this. He paid the body snatchers, and the body snatchers were criminals who would get cadavers, the dead bodies of people. They'd get them illegally a lot of the time, and they would bring them in secret to John Hunter's house so that he could work out what anatomy did. He pioneered autopsies, if you like, working out how bodies worked from dead cadavers. And like Jekyll, he's pushing the boundaries of science. This allows his contemporary audience to interpret Jekyll in 2 ways. Firstly, they might see him as a figure of horror and disgust, linked to the famous John Hunter body snatching. However, other readers might choose to interpret Stevenson's positioning of this house as a signal that Stevenson believes that Jekyll's work is revolutionary and ultimately, though disgusting now, beneficial to man in the future. Which interpretation do you prefer?
Okay, so that was a walk through as much of the existing property as I could get us through. But let me just pan around here. See, that's the length of a street. That's how far back, that way, that's how far back Jekyll's house went. We're going to walk round to the back and see how massive it was.
Now let's look at the back of this house. At the top here, you can see the theatre that he had built in order to demonstrate to other doctors what anatomy was like. And so this is in Jekyll's house, but this is the part that Hyde lives in at the back. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see Castle Street, which is Hyde's secret entrance to the house, the part that is dark and obscure. And you can see how far away it is from Jekyll's entrance. So far away that it actually has its own street name, and that makes it plausible that no one would know the 2 ends of the houses are the same.
This is where Hyde would have been, somewhere like this. And you can see the buildings on the side have been added since onto Charing Cross Road. And so Hyde's house would have started where those girders are, somewhere like that. I'm just about 3 houses up from number 28 Leicester Square. You get that contrast, don't you, between respectability and the complete lack of respectability that Hyde's doorway represents.
So that should have given you a much better picture of how the John Hunter house, Jekyll's house, explores the duality of man.